welcome to Big Jim Crochet. My name is Olivia, and I just had my last crochet market of the year. And let me tell you, it was very unexpected and surprising in the best way possible. So, I'm going to tell you all about. Um, so, let's go ahead and chat all about what my experience was like and the results of my market. But before we do, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. YouTube tells me that about 83% of my returning viewers aren't subscribed to my channel. So if that's you, if maybe you've watched a couple of my videos but just haven't subscribed yet, now's your time to do it. And if you're new here, hey, if you like crochet, you could probably subscribe too. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and get started because I have a lot to tell you. Okay, so this was my last market of the year. I started doing markets in July. I felt that that was the next right step for my business to take. I've done 3 markets this year. I did one in July, one in October, and then this December market, which is what we're talking about today. That is my last market. So I haven't done a ton, but this was the last one of the year, and as someone who was new to markets, I was very much looking forward to being done with markets this year because it just took a toll on me. We'll talk about that later later on, but this was my last market of the year. It was a holiday market because it's December now and the holidays are coming up and it's gift giving season. So it was a holiday market. It was at a church. It was not affiliated with the church, but a local handmade artisans group who put together the market, and we were just using the church's building space. Yeah, so it was at a church put on by a local handmade artisan group. I did visit one of the local handmade artisan groups summer shows that they put on. I visited that one before signing up for the December one to see if it was a good fit, and it seemed like I could do pretty well here. So that's why I went ahead and tried out this December one. The market was from 9 to 5, and it was my best market of the whole year, which I've only done 3 markets, so there's really like not a lot to compare it to, but I did like 3 times better at this market than I have done in my past 2 markets, okay? So, it was a really great market. Let me go ahead and kind of walk you through what my day was like at the market. So, my market was on Saturday, but on Friday evening, that's when I went to go set up at the market. So I showed up to the venue with all of my booths set up. I didn't put out any products that night because I didn't want to leave it there overnight all by itself. So I just set up my booth, and when I got there and checked in, it turns out my neighbor next to me, the vendor next to me, had taken my spot, and she set up in the wrong spot because I was supposed to be where she was. I was like, you know what? Our spots are basically the same, just on the other side. Sure, that's fine. And so I get set up, but as I mentioned before in my previous market prep video where I was prepping everything for this market specifically, my booth was only an 8 by 6 foot space. Usually I have a 10 by 10 because I have a little, easy up canopy that I bring with me. But this one I only had an 8 by 6 booth set up because the 10 by 10s, there weren't that many and they were a lot more expensive, just more than I was willing to spend on a booth fee for a market I had never done before. So I opted to get a smaller booth, and because of that, I did have to change my display. So I practiced my 8 by 6 booth setup a couple days before, which I also showed in my previous market prep video. But when I got to the market and actually saw the space, it was really hard to have the same exact setup that I used when I was practicing. my mom and she came with me as one of my as my market helper, because I always have someone come with me. But my mom and I were moving the tables around, trying new positions for the tables, and where are all the pieces of my display gonna go in my little spot. And I finally figured out something that I liked. It was a little bit different than what I had done in the past, with a table right up at the front and then a table along the side so someone could walk around and like go to the back side. And there was another vendor next to me. It wasn't the lady who took my spot, it was somebody else. And he came over to me and said, "Oh, I'm going to put a table right here." And it was in his booth spot, but it did block the new setup that I had just created. And so that when he said that to me, I was already annoyed that I was in the spot that I wasn't supposed to be in, that the next door vendor had taken my spot. And then I was annoyed that the setup that I had practiced for, that wasn't going to work in this space, because there wasn't enough room for me to be behind the tables. And so I had to think of something new. And then finally, when I thought of something new, the person next to me was like, "Actually, you might not want to do that because I'm putting this there." And they had every right to do it there. I pulled up the map to make sure that that was their space to use, and it was. So there was not much I could do about that. But when they told me that, I was already just annoyed because of all those things. But when he said that, I was just like, "Oh my gosh," even more annoyed. But I had to, figure out a new booth setup, and I did. I was able to get a new setup, which I did post pictures here on my YouTube community page. So if you want, well, I guess I can put a couple pictures in the video here. But this is what my booth looked like, and I was pretty happy with it. Just considering like everything that went wrong with my booth, just setting up. So I was pretty happy with it, and I thought that it was good enough for the market. It's my last one of the year. I don't need to stress out about it or anything. We just have to get through the day. So I got set up on Friday night, and then the next morning I got there about an hour before the show started and put all of my product into, on my display on my tables, took pictures, had some breakfast, and then the show started at 9 o'clock. About 15 minutes into the show, I made my first sale, which was really exciting. I was like, okay, maybe this is going to be a good market day, because up until that point, I already didn't have a great experience with the market, just getting set up, not feeling excited for it. So as the day goes on, just there are so many people there. It was a really well advertised market, I must say. Uh, like I said before, the church had advertised that, hey, there's going to be a market here in our building. And there were signs all over town for the market that I saw. And even there was like a billboard on one of our major freeways here. There was a billboard that shared about this market that was happening. And I think that advertising really worked. This is only the second year the organization has put on this market. And for it only being a second year market, the second time it's ever happened, there was such a great turnout. There was a little bit of a lull between like 12 to 2. There was just that, everyone's having lunch at home or going out or something. So there was not a lot of people there walking around at the market. But then from like 2 to like 3:30, there was a little bit of another like wave of people. And then from like 3 to 5, from like 3:30 to 5, kind of slow. I got a couple last minute sales there, but throughout the day, I was making a sale pretty much like every 10 minutes, I believe it was. Yeah, when it hit 10 o'clock, that's when it was like go time. I was making a sale like like every 10 minutes. I would say every 5 to 15 minutes, I would make a sale, which that was really great. I mean, consistently until like 12 o'clock, I was making sales every 5 to 10 minutes. So that was just amazing. I just couldn't believe it, especially because I was not excited about this market. I really didn't want to be there, and then to have it go that well already, like in the morning, I was shocked. Very grateful, but shocked, you know? Yeah, and that morning when I was setting up, I met another crochet vendor and we were chatting a little bit, and she gifted me like a crochet hook and a stitch marker that she made, which I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, that's so nice. And yeah, I'm really glad we got to connect. And there was just good vibes between you know, the organizers of the market, the other vendors. Like, you could tell that everyone was just really friendly and is passionate about their business and, you know, just excited to be there, which is great. It definitely helped me feel a little bit better on Saturday morning because, you know, I just wasn't feeling the market. But then to show up and everyone was so nice and excited, it made me feel nice and excited too. So concerning any like annoying interactions, everyone who showed up at the market was so friendly. Well, all of my customers were very friendly. Yeah, I didn't have any like bad interactions. I did see a couple people be like interested in something and then they see the price and immediately walk away. But I mean, I can't blame them for that. Like, I am not changing my prices. So if something's out of their budget, then yeah, go look at another booth. That's totally okay. And I understand that. I did have one annoying interaction. It wasn't well, it was annoying, but anyways, these two little girls came up into my booth and they were holding other like crochet amigurumi from the other crochet vendor who I chatted with that morning, and they just immediately started playing with the other amigurumi that I had on my table. So like my mini octos and the whales, and they started like pulling like the little AirPod pouches that I have. And so I let them do it for like 2 minutes to see if they were going to change their behavior or just leave after that. But they didn't. They just kept playing, and then they started putting their stuff on my table. And this is when I had to pull out my teacher voice. So outside of Big Dream Crochet, I'm a substitute teacher and I've worked with kids for years. So I had to pull up my teacher voice and I was like, friends, those are not your toys to play with until you buy them. Thank you. And they just kind of like looked at me and then nodded and put the stuff back and ran away. And one of the little girls came back to my booth with her family and she bought one of the little toys that she was playing with. So I was like, okay, well, that's just weird interaction, but I didn't lose any customers. So, but other than that, I had a really great day. Once it hit 5 o'clock, I packed up and I was out of there in like 15 minutes. The last couple of hours felt very, very long because they were slow. Like, there wasn't a lot of people walking around because the market was almost over. And so, yeah, I was ready to go home. And after I got packed up and I left, I got celebratory Thai food on my way home for dinner. And it was just a really, really great day. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was just dreading going to this market, and it ended up being the best one of my season so far. I mean, I only did 3 markets, but the best one out of the 3 that I did. So, yeah, that's like my overall personal experience. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the kind of like my market stats. So the items that I sold, best sellers, what I sold out of, etc., all those details. So from during the market from 9 to 5, I had 41 different customers. 59 of my items were sold. I sold out of the pickles that I made, and the chickens came really close to selling out too. If you want to see like the exact items that I'm talking about, you can go watch not my most recent market prep video, but the one before that, the one for my October market, because I'm selling the exact same stuff. I actually did not prep anything for this market at all. Like, I haven't market prepped since before my October market. That kind of tells you how disinterested in participating in this market I was. So if you want to see all those, all the items that I'm talking about, specifically, you can go watch my October market prep video. I'll link it in the description so you can see, but I'm selling all of the same items at this market there. So I want to read to you all of the items that sold. So I sold bear beanies, leggy frogs, chickens, pickles, mini octos, mini whales, knitting machine beanies, velvet twisted headbands, my own pattern, one of my pocket pouches, plush bags, faux fur scrunchies, mini bees, ribbed beanies, and a velvet scrunchie too. So those are all the different kind of items that sold today, and I want to share with you my best sellers, which I prepared for these to be best sellers, but at my last two markets, they were not a hit. My best sellers were chickens. I sold 13 of them, and my velvet twisted headbands, which I sold 12 of. So they were almost tied for my best sellers. And then I have three items that all tied for my third place bestsellers, and those were my bear beanies, faux fur scrunchies, and my mini whales. All right, and I actually ended up selling out of my pickles that I had. I didn't have that many pickles left, only about 3 or 4 pickles left. One big one and then a couple small ones. At my October market, they ended up being one of my more popular items. So I didn't have that many to sell at this market that I did, but I ended up selling out of all of them today. And again, the thing that drew the people to the pickles was I labeled them as emotional support pickles, which is popular online. That's where I got it from. And everyone thought it was so funny. And just that joke made people laugh and made them want to buy it. And that totally worked at this market because I sold out of my pickles. So I was very, very pleased and happy with that. Yay, pickles. And then, yeah, my chickens came close to selling out. I only had 2 left. I did sell out of all of my black and white speckled chickens. All of those ones were gone. I only have 2 of like the classic white chickens with the little red comb on top. I think that's what it's called. Some items that didn't sell at all for me were the AirPod pouches that I made. Those didn't sell at all. I had a lot of people look at them, and then I would explain to them like what they are, but I don't think the customers who came to the market were people who used AirPods every day or had AirPods. Yeah, those ones didn't sell at all. And then also the majority of my bags didn't sell, which I'm not really surprised at. Bags have not been a bestseller for me at any of my markets, even though I made so many of them. They're so cute. I love bags, and I just can't seem to find the people who also love bags and accessories. It's just, I think, one of those trial and error things. You just have to find the type of bag and then the right markets where those bag buyers are going to be. But I was surprised that I guess I sold out of that item. I did sell out of the 2 plush bags that I made with this like really chunky blanket yarn. I made 2 like over the shoulder little bags here, kind of like a chunky knit bag. Those ones are really popular right now. And I made 2 of them, hoping that I would find someone who also knows the trend and would recognize those bags. And I did. Both of those bags that I made sold at my market, and they were moms buying them for their daughters because their daughters had wanted a bag like that. And I was like, yes, those are the people who I made those bags for. So I was very, very excited about that. And then I also sold a little pocket pouch too, which is my own. It's just like a really small single granny square bag. Yeah, but the majority of the other bags that I made did not sell at all. I had a couple people looking at them, but I don't know. I just don't think in this area there's people who like accessories like that. At least I haven't found them yet. All right, and then when it comes to payments, I had 21 cash transactions and then 20 card transactions. So it is just so important that vendors have a card reader because otherwise you will miss out on a lot of sales. And I have a favorite card reader that I use. I don't use Square because I wasn't able to. I really wanted to use Square, but they could never verify my identity and customer support could do nothing for me. So that was a little frustrating, that whole process. But instead, I found another card reader that I just absolutely love. And I use the SumUp card reader. I have a referral link that I always put in the description. So if you want to know what card reader I use, it's the SumUp card reader. The link's in the description. I'm not sponsored or anything by them. I would love to be, but they just have such an awesome transaction system that, yeah, it's great. Keeps track of inventory and everything too. And without it, I would have missed out on a lot of sales. So, yeah, that I felt like that was an important statistic to share with you, that pretty much it's like 50-50 on cash and card transactions for me. So it's really important that you're able to take both. And now I know this is what you are all waiting for. You want to hear the overall amount that I made at my market. So here it is. I made a little bit over $900 at this market, which I just cannot believe, because at my last two markets, I only made about $300. I made about $300 at my first market in July, and then about $380 at my market in October. So I never in my mind would have imagined that I could do this well at one of my first markets. Yeah, it's just mind boggling. Like, when I was looking through the transactions at the end of the day, I was like, hold on, did I like double charge people for their items? Like, what? I just couldn't believe it, based on how my last two markets have gone. So, yeah, I'm just feeling so blessed and so grateful and just so excited for the future. The way that my last two markets went made me feel a little bit discouraged about this December market, because I was kind of just thinking it was going to be the same thing. And I ended up doing like over 3 times better than what I usually do at markets. So, yeah, I just cannot believe it. I'm so grateful for it. And yeah, no, I'm just really excited. It gives me a lot more hope about doing markets in the future. It was a great way to end my market season, my 2023 market season, and, feel really encouraged to doing more markets next year. Yeah, that's about it for, the results of this market. If you have any questions about things that I didn't talk about in this video, just drop them in the comments. I will get back to you, because I respond to every comment that anyone leaves on my videos. And if you're doing holiday markets too, let me know how they're going for you. I definitely want to encourage you and cheer you on. And I think it's just really fun to talk about markets and all of that. This may be my last market results video for a little bit, but I still have a couple videos planned that we're going to talk about markets and things like that. So make sure that if you liked this video, go ahead and like this video. If you like talking about markets, drop a thumbs up on there, because I love talking about markets, and that's kind of how I know if you enjoy my video too, is if you like it, and I'll make more videos like that. My goodness, I just said like about 10 times in that sentence. And make sure that you subscribe if you want to see more markets, see more market videos from me, and just crochet videos in general. That is everything that I post about. So go ahead and subscribe now, and I will see you next week in my video.